Hey, thanks for coming back to the channel. Um, I'm using a whole new setup, new mic, new PC, new lighting. So I hope this comes out okay. Because remember, I'm a one-take guy. So whatever I do is that's going to what's going to get uploaded. I'm also using some different software. But this is episode 6. The grid is down. Now what? And you have 12 hours to execute your strategy. I'm going to talk about the top 5 things that you need to consider for your survival in this situation, in almost any situation, but this one in particular. And I'm going to go in order of priority, and I'll explain why each one is a priority in this video. So, the absolute number one priority for you is shelter. Shelter. Most people, the first thing that comes to mind is food or water. Nah. Without shelter, you will die from environmental issues way before you die from lack of water or food, right? So you have to protect your body, from the elements, and the elements is weather and critters as well. And the best place to do that is in some kind of hard side shelter. I call that a house or an apartment, but it could be an RV. It could be your hard side camper, you know. But you have to protect your body from the elements, because we don't know when such a event like the Carrington will occur. We don't know what season it will be in, and that will depend a lot on where you are. But getting yourself into shelter is absolutely critical. That's the first thing that you have to think about, and the first thing that you have to do once you know you have 12 hours. Um, I'm fortunate. I live in a small apartment. I'm a minimalist. Uh, it's the and remember, you're going to bug in. You're not going to go Oscar Mike or on the move to get somewhere else, right? Because you have 12 hours. Now, if you remember in one of the earlier videos, you have 350 miles in a vehicle, 50 miles on a bicycle, not e-bike, and 20 miles on foot. So if you need to go Oscar Mike, that's the time period that you have to get where you need to go. And then you're going to bug in where you are. So shelter, shelter, shelter is the number one thing. Where will you shelter? The next one then on the list is water. Okay. Potable water, water that you can drink. So where is the water? Do you have it with you? Do you have relatively easy access to go get water? I'm really lucky. I got a river right outside, and it's really good water, no chemicals, none of that stuff. And as long as I have buckets and things I can put water in, I'm good to go, right? But for you, wherever you are, where where are you going to get water? If you have stored water, let me share this with you. You've seen those 5-gallon flexible, collapsible water bottles, water things. You can get it in almost any sporting goods store. They have the little spigot on it. You can turn it, and you can. However, in order to have a year's worth of water stored in that kind of thing in your shelter, that's going to take the equivalent of a 10 by 10 room with a ceiling of 4 to 8 feet. So think about where that would go if you intend to store that inside your shelter. I say inside your shelter because if you put it outside your shelter, someone's going to take it from you. That's just the way it's going to be. So water. If, like me, Now I do store water, and I have enough to last maybe a couple months or so. Why? Because the event will be over by then, but I still will need to go and access water because I don't have space where I live to store that much. But I better have somebody accompanying me to the water hole, to the water place. Because why? Somebody's going to see me going to get water and they're going to want to jack me on the way. I mean, that's just the way things are going to be. Um, where else can you get water? If you are in a major metropolitan area, I'm going to pick on the Los Angeles basin, for example, you are hosed up because the Colorado River, there will no longer be any water pressure to get water to you. And I grew up down there. There is, God help you if you think you're going to go to the Los Angeles River. I mean, you don't know what kind of things are in there that cannot be filtered out. And I'm talking about dangerous chemicals and those kind of things. So that would be a bad thing to do. So where are you going to go get water? Remember, the military, nobody's going to come bring tanker trucks of water to you because what it takes to put the water in the tanker trucks is no longer going to work. The first thing people, well, we can do salination. Yeah, that is one of the most energy intensive things to do. And excuse me, the power and the energy to do that just won't exist. It's going to be terrible in the Southwest. Terrible. And people will die by the hundreds of thousands in a few days because of lack of water. Because nobody's bringing water to anyone. Okay? If you're on board ship somewhere, you're good to go for a minute if the pumping systems will work. And in most cases, they won't. So you'll just die afloat. Water. Where are you going to get water that you can drink? Think about that. The next important one then is food. This one, if you have been prepping, you are going to bug in, you probably have 90 days, 6 months worth of food. I have 6 months worth of food, and I'm in the process of upping that to a year because I don't have space for more than that. I'm not going to go and get one of those storage shelters. Couple reasons. That's the first place a lot of people are going to go to try to break into them and see what's in there. The second thing is most of those are controlled by electronic cards or something, and that won't work. And then therefore, unless you have the key to the gate, you're just going to have to smash in to get to your storage shelter for food. I keep all my food inside, and I'm suggesting you do the same thing. As an aside, I live in one of those states where Canada geese are a pain in the butt. However, they're everywhere, everywhere. You can't walk without stumbling over some family of Canadian geese, or Canada geese is they're official. So there's going to be a lot of people, and one of those things will feed a family of four, for a couple, 3 days, right? The problem with that is you need to know how to prepare one of those things, or it's going to be nasty. The second thing is you're going to be cooking. The problem with food, and my recommendation is don't cook anything that has an odor. So those frozen things of bacon and venison and all that stored meat that you have, or other food, seasoned, if you do that, you are signaling to others that there is food. And you don't want a line outside your door. You don't want to get invaded because people now know you have food. Now, I'm going to cover all of these in more detail in separate videos, But for now, I just want to let you know that where you live, where can you get food? Now, don't worry about the law or the rules or having some kind of license, because there will not be rule of law. There will not be any way to enforce anything. So you do what you have to do. You do what you have to do. And you take the food where you can get it, right? For those that hunt, again, if you're going to take game, then you intend to cook it. If you intend to cook it, you intend to let the world know you are cooking. And therefore, we go to number 4 on the list, which is security, right? This is a serious thing. How are you going to defend and protect what you have where you are, right? Because you're going to need to. If you're down in some of those areas where I talked about earlier, that's not going to have water. I mean, 3 or 4 days, man, people are going to be desperate. And remember, they can't go anywhere because they can't get anywhere fast enough within the 12 hours. So it's going to be, man, it's going to be like the zombie apocalypse without zombies. There's going to be that. I mean, look at those movies. It's going to be that kind of carnage out there. Any survivors are going to think they're going to move to someplace else, and there just isn't anywhere to go within that 12 hours, right? So we'll come back to that. So what is your security strategy? What is your security strategy? How are you going to protect yourself? That means your own body from other people. How are you going to protect where you are, where you have bugged in, right? How are you going to do that? Are you even capable? If you're infirm, if you're infirm, you're probably going to die. Remember, if you have metal inside your body, head, whatever, you can't Faraday bag your body unless you build one of those Faraday cages for a vehicle. So you're going to spend $9,000 and maybe you charge renters, I don't know, to put other people's stuff in there or even your own. Security. What is that going to look like for you? Now, the last one, which is really important, and it's something that I'm finding on my own. I'm a loner kind of guy, but I've come to the conclusion, and I'm working on it. I have to create a community of support, other people who are like-minded, who will help in security, will help with things I don't have. I can help with things they don't have. You see what I'm saying? So if you think you're going to do this by yourself, you're just going to die tired. You're just going to die tired. Okay? So those are the 5 things. Give them some thought. Give them some thought yourself. What is your strategy going to be for each one of those 5 things? And remember, if you like this content, if you like this channel, please subscribe. If you have subscribed, please check the bell icon that's selected for all. If you're new, subscribe and hit the bell icon for all, right? And as always, wherever you can, whenever you can, however you can, carry on.